The chair now calls Susan Clark, Suburban, Southwest Texas Democratic Women, and she is going to be testifying against this bill. State your name and your position, please.
Yes, I'm Susan Clark. I am against this bill. I traveled all the way from Fort Bend County today to come and speak to you guys. I want to tell y'all a story, a very personal story, and my primary point in telling this story is that every woman must make their own decision. You cannot look at a woman and tell what her circumstances are. I have a very close cousin who I am about 10 years younger, but she taught me the way to do things. She didn't get married until her early 30s, and she wanted a child very badly. So she got pregnant, and she lost the first one, unfortunately, through a miscarriage. With her second pregnancy, she was so happy. She was so happy to be pregnant again. Unfortunately, due to her age, she had an amniocentesis at 4 months because you can't have it any sooner than that. The test revealed a fatal birth defect. What should she have done? What would y'all tell her to do? She knew that her baby girl could not live. It was a brain defect. Her choice was to carry the baby, who died immediately after birth. She knew it would. I believe that a woman should have the choice. A woman needs to have the choice because only she knows her own circumstances. With every body who patted my cousin's belly and said, "Oh, when are you due?" she relived again the fact that that baby was already going to die. I pray to God that our legislators and lawmakers will allow women to make their own decisions because only they understand the circumstances that they have. As in my cousin's case, the circumstances vary from woman to woman, and only the woman involved and her doctors can make decisions regarding her babies.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
The chair now calls Cherie Christensen, testifying for herself, and she's against the bill.
Thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify. My name is Sherry Christensen. I'm representing myself, and I'm against this bill. I'm a volunteer with the Lilith Fund, and I'm an abortion doula with the Bridge Collective. I'm also a birth doula and a midwifery student, so I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I support abortion for many reasons, the foremost of which I wanted to tell you all about today. Childbirth comes with inherent risks to both mother and baby. Postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis are very real risks that every woman has to face when she gives birth. And we talked a lot about physical health of people, but we haven't talked a lot about mental and emotional health. Some people have brought it up, but it's equally important, if not more so, to physical health. And this is further amplified as a pregnancy is unwanted. What's more, no matter how advanced our technology is, and no matter how good our medicine gets, pregnancy will always carry with it the risk of mother or baby dying. This bill will effectively cut out abortion access for hundreds, if not thousands, of women, forcing them to put their health and lives at risk. And I think that any bill, any law that forces somebody to put their own life at risk is unethical and immoral. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony, Ms. Christensen. The chair will now call Elizabeth Burr, representing the Capital Area Democratic Women, and she's against the bill. We will show that Ms. Burr is against the bill and that she did not testify. Just a minute, audience. We've made an announcement. When she comes, we will let her speak, but then we're just going to go on for the sake of time. The chair is going to call Erin Atkinson, representing Self, and is against the bill. Okay, the chair is going to show that Aaron Atkinson is against the bill but did not testify. The chair is going to call Nicole Arnsmeyer, representing herself, and she is against this bill. We will show that Ms. Arnsmeyer is against the bill but did not testify. The chair is going to call Hanson Anderson, testifying for himself, and is against the bill. The chair will show that Hanson, I lost my space. Arnsmeyer did not testify, but was against the bill. Okay, now I'm back to the screen. The chair is going to call Chastity Anderson, testifying for self, against the bill. Are you Ms. Anderson? Okay, fine. The chair is going to call, we will show that Ms. Anderson is against the bill but did not testify. Caitlin Allen, representing herself, she's against the bill. Ms. Allen, are you here? The chair will show that Ms. Allen was against the bill but did not testify. The chair is going to call Frances Chen, representing herself, and is registered against the bill. The chair will show that will ask that Ms. Chen be shown as against the bill with no testimony.
She's back.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. Aaron Atkinson, representing herself, and she's against the bill. State your name, who you're representing, and your position on the bill, please.
Hi, my name is Erin Atkinson, and I'm representing myself, and I am against HB 60. This bill will restrict those most in need from having access to necessary abortion services. Poor women and those in abusive relationships do not have the time and resources to make a trek across the state to go to a clinic, and an unplanned pregnancy can be a life sentence to poverty or can be an anchor to an abuser. We need more emotional, physical, and financial support for women who have had abortions and who are facing unplanned pregnancies that they would like to keep. I know that this bill is attempting to do this, but by closing so many clinics, it will do the opposite by leaving desperate women with no resources. This will not create fewer terrible abortion experiences, but will create more as people try to end their pregnancies dangerously. No woman should be forced to have an abortion or to carry a pregnancy, and that is what this bill will do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Our computers are slow with 700 people in there.
Well, when they register, it slows it down. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, the chair is going to call Evan Umberger, representing himself, and is for the bill. Mr. Umberger, are you here? Yes, ma'am. Okay, fine, sir. State your name and your position on HB 60.
Sure.
He's for the bill.
My name is Evan Umberger, and I'm for the bill. Thank you so much for hearing my perspective. Tonight I'm speaking to you as a father. The legacy that was passed down to me was ingrained in my legal name, which is actually Ernest Crabtree Umberger, and I decided to pass it on to my son. I, Evan, am the fourth, and Ethan is the fifth. At 11 weeks, we received his diagnosis and a laundry list of things we should not expect. Ultimately, we were given the choice to terminate his life or give him the best opportunity at life, and we chose life. Our desire for Ethan to be healthy, happy, and whole began in my wife, Chelsea's womb, and was completed as a miracle in heaven. While Ethan was here on earth, I was able to bond with him through many different experiences. When you're told that your child should not respond to touch, the popcorn game at 3 a.m. is pretty incredible. With our local perinatal hospice program, we had weekly sonograms, and we were able to spend time with him. We were able to see him self-soothe, also something we were told he shouldn't do. Smile and wave. I was able to grab his feet and tickle it when it was sticking out, and every day I would go to Chelsea's belly saying, "Daddy loves you, and you're a champion. You're my champion." And then he kicked me in the face because he was responding. My favorite song was the Good Fruit song, we called it. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We sang it to him in the womb, and on the day he was born, he responded and raised his head, something that he's not supposed to do. He also grabbed my finger while I held him, swallowed in my arms. We sang him other songs and held him all night. It was the most impactful opportunity to be able to provide unconditional love from his first to his last heartbeat. He left my arms at 3:16 the next day after 26 hours and 45 minutes. That was just his layover on Earth. But that wasn't the extent of his life. It was 38 weeks and 4 days in my wife's womb. And I experienced peace and joy that I gave my son the best opportunity at life. We live in the greatest time of our nation's history at the intersection of opportunity and change. And in the words of Andy Andrews from his book, The Butterfly Effect, every single thing you do matters. You have been created as one of a kind. You have been created in order to make a difference. You have within you the power to change the world. And to add to Andy, everything you don't do also matters. Either way, generations are impacted. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony, Mr. Olmsted. The chair calls Elizabeth Burr, representing the Castile Area Democratic Women, is against this bill.
Hello, thank you. I'm Lizzie Burr, and I'm the president of Capital Area Democratic Women, and I'm here in opposition to HB 60. I appreciate the opportunity to testify this evening, and I appreciate very much each of your understanding and forbearance, patience, listening, and thoughtfulness as we all discuss this extremely important and, to my mind, threatening bill. There are so many things that I could point to in this particular bill because it's an omnibus bill, and it's different from the smaller bills that were considered during the regular session. And I have some concerns about whether or not there's been enough time for you as legislators to consider what is different about this legislation, what may be different about this legislation than those bills that were debated and did not make it through the process in the regular session. I brought that up actually when I testified in the Senate last week on SB 5, which is not this bill, but unfortunately we have a committee substitute now, so I'm not exactly sure. I know there were small changes, but again, I find this concerning. One of the reasons I'm most concerned is a personal experience I have with an abortion in 1985 and taking someone to an abortion that had to be rescheduled because of a hurricane. It had to be rescheduled because the facility was closed because a hurricane was coming in, and no one schedules elective procedures when there is an emergency situation taking place. My understanding of part of this bill, and I have to say it's just very minimal understanding, is that the ambulatory surgical center requirements that this bill includes would reduce the current number of licensed facilities. I'm not saying there couldn't be more eventually, to 5 in this state. And my understanding is those 5 are in specific places, 2 of which are close to the Gulf Coast and could be affected by a hurricane. I've lived in Houston, and I've gone through hurricanes in Houston. I'm speaking to 2 people here one who are representatives from Houston. One used to be my representative from Houston. I worry that this bill would create a situation where women who have the right to seek a termination of a pregnancy and have made the decision to do so and scheduled it at one of these 5 centers still available would then not have that opportunity. I don't know whether there are provisions in this bill for that. I don't know whether there are opportunities to consider that, but it's of great concern to me personally, and I hope you'll consider that as you listen to testimony from people around the state, how different areas are affected differently by these changes in regulations.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
The chair now calls Caitlin Allen, representing herself, and she is against this bill.
Hello. Thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify.
Would you start with your name, please?
My name is Caitlin Allen,
And your position.
and I am against this bill.
Thank you.
Now, I'm sure most of what I'll say you've already heard, but we learn through repetition, so I'm going to say it again. And I'm a constituent of Representative Eddie Rodriguez. I'm here because in the first 3 months of 2013 alone, 694 provisions related to reproductive health were introduced, with almost half of them aiming to restrict or limit access to abortion. This assault on women's right to make their own decisions about their health has to stop. This bill does not help women or children or anyone. I'm sure nobody here is naive enough to think that by taking away access to safe abortions, that they will cease to be performed. By closing all but 5 clinics who perform abortions in the state, thousands of women will be forced into dangerous, horrific, and traumatizing situations that those before us fought so hard to get away from. I'm asking you all to please say no to HB 60 for the sake of all people. We don't need politicians in the doctor's office. We need them in the Capitol. Trust us to make our own decisions, and we can put more faith in yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. The chair now calls Sandy Shana Silvertooth, testifying for herself, and she is for the bill. We will show that Ms. Silvertooth is for the bill, but did not testify. Okay.